Understanding that peace and security is the basic foundation for development, Governor Lalong made security the major priority of his administration. His approach was to allow the people drive peace building through an institutional approach. This gave birth to the Plateau State Peace Building Agency, the first of its kind in the country, launched by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari.
The first group I started engaging was the Fulani and the Bron. When we did that, we brought them together. Now, when we brought them together, we now agreed that within them, they will select equal number of people. They selected their people, and I charged them with the responsibility of owning up, taking responsibility for finding solutions, since they knew the reasons for those crises. And within a short time, within 3 months, they were able to come back with the reports, and we started implementing. When we started implementing, that was the end of crisis at that time. So there was peace in that place. And because there was peace, we now established the Peace Building Agency. That's the first of its kind in the nation, the Peace Building Agency, through an NGO. We drafted it, they drafted a bill from the, I think it came from the United States Institute for Peace. So I accepted, adopted it, and we produced the Peace Building Agency.
By the modus operandi of that organization, the issue of dialogue was brought to the fore. You don't solve a crisis by fighting. If you look at all the history of wars, and at the tail end, it is on the dialogue table that issues are sorted out. You fight and get tired, and you must dialogue.
Governor Lalong would be remembered for anything. I mean, you could have an argument with anyone in Plateau State or even outside of this state about his infrastructural, achievements, about his achievements in agriculture, perhaps about his achievement in health or education. You could have a whole lot of argument, whether it is an achievement or not, or even paying salaries, whether it is no. But when it comes to issues of peace, everybody feels it. The evidence is there that, like I've said earlier on, our situation has changed dramatically. I mean, remarkably. We've seen communities that have fought each other and now embracing one another. We've seen communities that have fought each other and then some were uprooted completely but are making efforts to return. It's not yet Uhuru, like I've said.
While reinvigorating its Operation Rainbow, the Lalong administration instituted a proactive support and collaboration with statutory security agencies such as the Operation Safe Haven, the police, State Security Service, Civil Defense, and other paramilitary organizations, which it has continued to support with logistics and equipment to enable them respond to security challenges across the state.
He has tried to enhance the Operation Rainbow. You recall that brother, he inherited that, but he made sure that he took it to the next level by connecting it to the outside world. So to the point that we have the French embassy, the US embassy, the USIB, all coming in to make their input to collaborate, so as to make it robust, the early warning system. I think Plateau has the best in the country for now. So that is, in other words, a preparatory to make you be anticipatory in your action. In other words, when the conflict signals point to the fact that there's going to be likely clear conflict or crisis, you put machinery in place to avert that. And that has been the order of the day.
As a former commander, I had to carry out my threat analysis, my security analysis. I stepped up with His Excellency, let us have a discussion. Because one thing, no matter what the situation is, if the political will is not there to drive your intent, it will not work. I saw the genuineness in Governor Lalong of turning the situation around. I saw the genuineness in him. If you like, the pain in him that Plateau has become what it's not supposed to be. I saw the pain in him that Plateau lost its glory that it has earned over the years as home of peace and terrorism, and he was determined to make a change.
Today, the state enjoys substantial peace that the Lalong administration has consolidated with a robust engagement of all stakeholders. The Security Surveillance Center initiative has further taken the quest for a safe and secure Plateau State to the next level.
We were perpetually living under curfew in this state. There was no nightlife. But today, in fact, it was during that time that people, their settlements were demarcated. Christians were staying in one side and Muslims on the other side of the state. But with this administration, there were times, no matter what you do to me in the life of past administration, and you say I should go to certain areas, I will not go. But today, at 12 midnight, I will go to those places. We love ourselves. We have been able to conquer that. And investors are coming, like I said, the hospitality industry. And it boosts the economy of the state. The multiplier effect helps in boosting the economy of the state. And that is where we are.
To further deter and punish criminals, Governor Lalong signed into law the Anti-Kidnapping, Anti-Land Grabbing, Cultism and Other Violence-Related Matters Bill, also passed by the House of Assembly, which carries the death penalty for kidnappers.
There is a provision in the Penal Code that says that the governor can declare a certain clubs or associations as being illegal, and then membership of such becomes an offense. So we saw that, we said, no, we also need to beef it up. So we passed the anti-land grabbing, kidnapping law, which also addresses cultism, okay? So it's not an offense for you to be mere membership of a cult in the state. Unlike before, when security agencies will raid certain dark spots, arrest a lot of people, Sarasuka and the rest, and you don't know what to do with them because the law was insufficient. Now we have sufficient penal provisions to deal with such conduct.
Part of peace consolidation of the Lalong Rescue Administration is by meeting the yearnings of the people through the creation and restoration of chiefdoms and districts. Lalong created 285 new districts, 36 chiefdoms, as well as restored 3 chiefdoms scrapped by the previous administration.
We have opportunities to meet with the governor from time to time through the State Council of Chiefs. And there are issues that we do advise the state through our council and through the Ministry for Local Government to have some kind of symbiotic relationship, if you want to say. And if he has issues, the Commissioner for Local Government is there as his representative with us at our council. And the Permanent Secretary, Ministry for Local Government, is also there as his representative. So we do advise the state on issues of state security through our council.
Unlike in the past when we were just sitting down at home, basically doing nothing. Now we are part and parcel of the government. And he has made responsibilities even easier for us by giving us additional staffs, creating new chiefdoms, bringing power closer to the people so that they have a way of expressing themselves by having a voice that can be heard.
This is in addition to installing new traditional rulers to replace those who had died and the stools were vacant. The governor also signed into law the bill for the remuneration of traditional rulers to make them more effective and comfortable.
This is where you take governance to the people at the grassroots. This yearning for districts and chiefdoms was there. Today, we promoted 2 to first class, so many of them to second class, and we have created a lot of chiefdoms and districts. When we went around and were doing it, everywhere you see the excitement about the creation of districts everywhere. We passed a law to enhance their salaries. We just did the law about 2 months ago. They were excited because what I saw was terrible. A third class chief earning 15,000. Second class chief 20,000. I said, what is 20,000 now with the new monetary value that we have? So we had a bill, we passed the bill, I signed the bill, and I told them that we will start implementing the bill this month for all the traditional rulers, from first class to even the village head, and several of them, about 285 districts. So the people are happy. So when you talk about good governance, you must include these kind of things.
One great area about that the governor has achieved has to do with respecting and enhancing the dignity of every cultural community in the state. Irrespective of whether you are a large community or a small community, he gives you your identity. He promotes your identity.
To further deepen reform of the water sector, the Lalong administration unbundled the existing water management structure for better efficiency, service delivery, and access. Consequently, the governor signed into law and gazetted the Plateau State Water Sector Law, which gave rise to 4 agencies. Many new water treatment plants have been constructed, while old ones rehabilitated, in addition to provision of thousands of hand pumps, solar panel boreholes to supply water to both urban and rural areas of the state.
When the government realizes that it has to inject new spirit, and the new spirit is coming in the form of reform, and wherever you find reforms coming in, it means something is wrong somewhere, and we need to change for the better. And that is what this administration is doing. It has a target, it has the point it is aiming. It is aiming at delivering water to at least 70% of, or 70 to 80% of the populace by the year 2030.
Actually, we really appreciate what the government has done or is still doing in Riom for the intervention of this dam. Because water is life, as we all know. We really thank God for the intervention of the government, as he has paid some counterpart fund to see the success of this water project.
In terms of good governance, the rescue administration did not only liberate workers from the salary arrears syndrome, but has remained consistent in ensuring civil servants and pensioners receive their entitlements as at when due. Little wonder the workers on their own christened Governor Simon Bako Lalong as Governor Alert. Today, there is industrial harmony and mutual understanding in the state, even as the implementation of the new minimum wage is ongoing.
The time he came in, the civil service was actually very low ebb, because civil servants get motivated when they are paid, and of course when promotions are made and when entitlements are given. At that time, those things were not there, because he came in and inherited a backlog of salaries, backlog of entitlements. He made the civil servants on strike. So that's a definition of how it was. Civil service was actually the morale was very low. And he has not hidden it. At each point that he has opportunity to speak, he has always spoken his mind, that he would leave a civil service that is motivated, that does not have any backlog of entitlements. There was an embargo on employment. There was embargo on promotions. That embargo has been lifted, and promotions are on, and of course the civil servants are upbeat, motivated because of the promotions that have been. So he's doing so well.
Another area which the Lalong Rescue Administration has shown great commitment is in embracing sound financial policies to harness and deploy the lean resources available for the good of all its citizens. The state accounting system operated under the Treasury Single Account (TSA) has been reinvigorated with the implementation of the State Fiscal Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability Program (SFTAS) and the establishment of the Project Monitoring and Result Delivery Unit (PMRDU) with a clear mandate to track up projects and programs implementation by all the MDAs.
When you come here, it's truly a powerhouse. It is like a hub. You come, you have to justify. Once the governor minutes it to us, we forward it here. You are given the opportunity to engage. You must justify. They will look at the costing, they will look at the objective. You must give the justification why it is in. Does it align
with the sector strategy, right? You do not just create anything, right? And it ensures monitoring and evaluation, which in modern governance, you cannot do without it.
The introduction of the Liquidity Management Committee, UMC, and Efficiency Unit, EU, has saved the state government over 3 billion naira annually. Little wonder the second corruption survey report released by the National Bureau of Statistics in 2019 ranked Plateau State as the second least corrupt state in Nigeria. Plateau State also joined the Open Government Partnership and won the OGP Global Award for Transparency and Accountability in Extractives in Seoul, South Korea, first in Africa, beating Kenya and Morocco.
Transparency was the watchword. And through that transparency, we were even given an award, the best in Africa, by Open Governance. We went to South Korea, they gave us an award for open governance. In transparency, we were rated as one of the best, I think the second or third best in 2019. They have not done another one up to now. They did that transparency and they gave us a certificate. So when you are doing good governance, you must make sure that there is transparency. There is this thing, avoiding corruption.
Lalong Rescue Administration is so open in terms of transparency, accountability. He put a lot of measures in place. There is no governor that discloses all its resources to the people. He put so many things in place. The Liquidity Management Committee is chaired by him with different members, the Revenue, Debt Management, Accountant General, the Commissioner, I myself, the SSG himself. We sit down to look at things. At the end of the day, you can imagine a governor sitting down with people to look at his own approvals before payment. It shows that such governors have transparency in him.
The Lalong government has also continued to look inwards to increase its internally generated revenue so as to carry out development projects which have been greatly affected by shortfalls from FAAC allocations. Apart from improving IGR from 600 million naira in 2015 to about 900 million naira in 2019, the state government engaged a consortium of tax experts compliance professionals PLC to assist it bolster its revenues.
Pension today we are paying 528 million. So out of it you are talking around the co-civil servants and political appointees and those of people of casual workers, about 2.3 billion. So if you put together, this pot is 2.8 billion. You have 3.5 billion, 3.5 averagely. So if you take 2.8, your net balance now will be 700 million. Is that not so? This amount, again, is incumbent with some level of maybe local ISPO or loans that the government has taken to do one thing or the other. You need to service your account. So if you service the bank, again, what is remaining, you need to share it among the 3 or 4 arms of government. I've said it 4 now because the judiciary, there is autonomy. The House of Assembly, they are autonomous. The Auditor General of the state is autonomous. So the executive were there. So you share this balance now amongst the 4.
In his determination to change the trajectory of Plateau State perceived as a civil service state, Governor Lalong established the Plateau Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, PLASMEDA, which has continued to address youth unemployment, poverty reduction, entrepreneurship development, skills acquisition, and promoting financial literacy. So far, it has trained over 100,000 youths in various skills and provided technical support to enable them start various small and medium businesses. In partnership also with the German International Corporation, GIZ, Industrial Training Fund, ITF, among others, Plateau State through PLASMEDA has continued to churn out innovators and entrepreneurs who have shown dominance in the National Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises MSMEs Awards. To encourage investment into the state and eliminate setbacks to business, Plateau State keyed into the federal government's ease of doing business initiative and have established the one-stop shop to facilitate the establishment of businesses. It also acquired the Inland Container Terminal Haipang and Bak farms to boost the state's investments. In the field of agriculture, Governor Lalong supported the farmers to engage in farming to produce more food and get better income. Apart from acquiring the earlier sold Bak farms in Zalaki, his administration has revived the Bako's fertilizer blending plant and concessioned the Bajefta group of companies to ensure the timely supply of fertilizers to farmers. Working with the African Development Bank, the state revolutionized the production of Irish potatoes, for which the state is renowned for. It established a potato tissue culture laboratory in Mangu, built processing centers, market stalls, feeder roads, and conducted research that has enabled the production of potatoes and other assorted vegetables in all the 17 local governments of the state.
From the point of Plateau State as an agrarian state to the passion of the governor and to his policy statements were good enough for us to work on it. For instance, when he developed his policy trust in the first 4 years of his administration, agriculture featured prominently. In fact, it was the third agenda in the policy trust. In the second administration, 4 years of administration, agriculture also occupied a cardinal place in the consideration of the government to blossom the economy for sustainable rebirth of Plateau State.
The Lalong Rescue Mission has also registered giant strides in the areas of sports and youth development. With his guidance and support, Plateau United Football Club won the Nigerian Premier League for the first time and repeated the same feat in 2020.
It's during Simon Bako Lalong that Plateau United won the league. We have featured in 3 intercontinental rounds of our tournaments in the last 5 years. There is no state in Nigeria that has had as good fortunes as Plateau United has. And these things are not flukes. These things don't just happen. These things are not manna that fall from heaven. They are a result of painstaking, deliberate processes or execution of policies. And he's been able to do that. My Teachers Football Club has also been able to make its mark, in the lower leagues. Beyond that, Plateau State Sports Council, which is the umbrella body of all sports, it's a parastatal under the ministry, but it is charged with specifically, developing sports. We've been able to feature a national sports festival, and our medals, are all out there for people to see.
Governor Lalong, who is an active golfer, has continued to develop other sports, including golf, where the state has hosted the Governor's Cup for the last 8 years. Last year, the Governor's Golf Tournament recorded over 400 entries of both professionals and amateur golfers from within and outside the country. As chairman of the Northern States Governors Forum, Governor Lalong continues to give purposeful leadership to his colleagues in addressing national and regional challenges. He strongly believes that development is deeply rooted in peaceful coexistence. Thus, the journey towards a prosperous Plateau State continues to lie in his ability to govern with justice, fairness, and fear of God while building institutions that will outlive his tenure.
What Lalong has done, which is unprecedented, continuing with projects, is for the person who is coming in to continue with the projects that we have started, and then build on the peace that we have created on the plateau. Make people to understand, because it's sometimes when you don't make people understand, you don't tell them forget it, forgive. Let them understand why certain things have happened or why certain things are happening. It is key. Once people understand why you are doing this, then I think they will follow.
In the past 8 years, He has continued to deploy the meager resources accruing to the state judiciously in meeting the yearnings and aspirations of the people by creating the right environment for attracting investment and creating jobs for the people. As he bows out from the state, Governor Simon Bako Lalong has done his bit and is leaving behind a stable, more peaceful and prosperous Plateau which he expects his successor to build upon.
We have laid legacies, we have laid projects. It's unfortunate some of them we may not be able to finish. Does not mean that those projects are not important. I've listed up some of the legacy projects that we left. I would want him to take advantage of what I did to continue with some of these projects. It was General Gawan who encouraged me. He said, go and continue with the project. Don't listen to people. I did that, and I saw them as low-hanging fruit. I will also appeal to the next governor to please embrace this spirit of forgiveness and reconciliation in Plateau. Let's continue with it so that there will be no more crisis of segregation on the basis of religion, on the basis of tribe, on everything. We've started already. The spirit of forgiveness and reconciliation. Let him think Plateau, continue to think Plateau and act Plateau.
He continues to urge the citizens and friends of the home of peace and tourism to always think Plateau and act Plateau.